You know that friend who never posts anything. No mirror selfies, no food pics, no vacation dumps. While everyone else is documenting every breath they take, these people exist in complete digital silence. And if you're like most of us, you've probably wondered what the hell is wrong with them. Are they hiding something? Are they just boring? Or maybe they're one of those people who thinks they're too cool for social media. Well, here's the thing. Psychology tells us a completely different story. These digital ghosts aren't antisocial weirdos or attention-seeking contrarians. They're actually operating on a level that most of us can't even comprehend. And today we're going to dive deep into the minds of people who've mastered the art of staying invisible in a world that demands to be seen. Picture this. You're scrolling through Instagram at 2 in the morning, comparing your Monday morning face to someone's highlight reel from Cabo. Meanwhile, there's someone out there who hasn't opened the app in weeks. They're sleeping like a baby while you're spiraling into an existential crisis over whether your brunch looked aesthetic enough. These people have cracked a code that the rest of us are still trying to figure out. But before we get into the psychology behind this behavior, let's address the elephant in the room. We live in a society where your online presence is basically your resume for existing. If you don't post, did it even happen? If you don't share your thoughts, do you even have thoughts? It's like we've collectively agreed that silence equals irrelevance. Yet some people have completely opted out of this madness. They're living their lives without the need for external validation, without the pressure to perform happiness, and without the constant anxiety of maintaining their digital persona. And here's what's fascinating about this whole thing. The psychology behind their behavior reveals some of the most emotionally intelligent and mentally secure traits you can possibly have. So what exactly is going on in the minds of these digital hermits? What makes them tick when the rest of us are addicted to the dopamine hit of likes and comments? And more importantly, what can we learn from their approach to life? Because I have a feeling that by the end of this, you're going to realize that these people might be the smartest ones in the room. Let's start with something that'll blow your mind. These people have what psychologists call a bulletproof sense of self. While you're refreshing your feed every 5 minutes, wondering if your caption was witty enough, they're out here knowing exactly who they are without needing a single thumbs up to confirm it. It's like they have this internal GPS system that doesn't require external satellites to function. Think about it this way. Most of us post because we're fishing for something. We want people to think we're successful, attractive, interesting, or at least not completely pathetic. But these digital minimalists, they already know they're all of those things. Or they don't care if they're not. Either way, they're not looking for answers in your comment section. Here's where it gets really interesting. Research shows that people who avoid posting photos tend to have what's called an internal locus of control. That's fancy psychology speak for people who believe they're the author of their own story, not the supporting character in everyone else's social media drama. They make decisions based on their own values, not what's going to get the most engagement. But here's the kicker that'll make you question everything. These people understand something that most of us are completely blind to. Social media is basically a casino designed to keep you hooked on validation. Every like is a slot machine payout, every comment is a small hit of dopamine, and every post is you putting your self-worth on the roulette table. These digital ghosts have essentially walked out of the casino while the rest of us are still feeding quarters into the machine. And let's talk about something that'll really mess with your head. While we're all performing our lives like we're starring in our own reality show, they're actually living theirs. They're having conversations without wondering how they'll caption them later. They're experiencing moments without immediately thinking about the angle and lighting. They've discovered this revolutionary concept called being present. The most fascinating part, they're not missing out on anything. So what does this all mean for the rest of us digital addicts? Maybe it's time to ask ourselves the hard questions. Are we posting because we have something meaningful to share? Or are we just feeding the machine that keeps us hooked on external approval? Are we living our lives or are we performing them? Here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. Those people who don't post their photos aren't missing out on anything. They're not less social, less happy, or less successful. If anything, they've figured out what the rest of us are still desperately searching for in our comment sections. They've found peace in their own company, confidence in their own judgment, and happiness that doesn't depend on a notification. The next time you see someone who stays off the grid, don't pity them, or assume they're antisocial hermits living under a rock. They might just be the most emotionally intelligent people you know. They've mastered the art of self-validation in a world that profits off your insecurities. And maybe, just maybe, they're onto something that could change your life too. Because at the end of the day, the most confident people in the room aren't the ones demanding to be seen. They're the ones who know they're worth seeing, whether you're looking or not. Now, that's what I call real power.